So what is public diplomacy? If you'll notice, the title of this workshop is public diplomacy. People-to-people diplomacy or public diplomacy is when diplomats meet directly with the citizens of their host country, rather than just government-to-government relations. So this type of diplomacy builds strong relationships between nations, supporting economic and partnerships and trade, and advance the local prosperity between the two cultures. So not just consider that this is an effort that could be done only if you're a diplomat. You are a diplomat already in your own right. Being a diplomat and representing your country is not just reserved for individuals in that spectrum, in that professional area. You have a role representing your own country and advocating for international issues. Whenever you travel abroad, you represent your own culture, your language, and the way you conduct yourself speaks highly of where you're coming from and your values. So you are inherently a diplomat. So this is the spirit that I hope you remember today. This is a workshop for you to become a diplomat in action. We want people from all backgrounds remember their power to foster peace, to foster economic ties and diplomacy. And whatever you do, even in social media now, a single post has power. Your words have power to bring people together. So this is an experiment. I would really like to get your feedback of what you learned today. How can you be a diplomat within your own network? And thank you so much for being here, interested about the situation in Ukraine. So let's get to the agenda. Today, we'll be describing the objectives of this workshop and the mindset needed in order to really listen to our presentation today. Hard images will be displayed, so we advise caution if you're too sensible for these images. And also, we'll have a presentation from directly from Ukraine that joining us today. These are connections that I have built through the Rotary network. I traveled across Europe when I was studying abroad, and one of my contacts is from the Ukraine, and I would love to just give a huge thank you for being here with us, sharing with their heart out what's happening in their hometowns. We'll have a Q&A, as I mentioned, and then we'll have a breakout room where you will be assigned to introduce yourself and have a brief networking session about what you learned today. After the networking session, we will open the floor to discuss non-nuclear proliferation, and that will be led by our charter president, Kat Haber. So let's move on. With that, I would like just to go through the objectives. Number one, we're here as citizens, as people from different backgrounds, different languages, different countries, to express our realities. We're here to listen with empathy. We're here to respect our differences and also learn from each other. But most importantly, the ultimate goal of this workshop is build new realities together in a creative fashion. We need to be creative. We need to not be satisfied with what the status quo is at the moment, but envision what can be done together to change our reality, to improve, to connect, to foster peace. So these are the goals. I hope you join us for the ride. And with that, I would like to just ask you this question so we can be all in the same mindset as the presentation coming today. What would you do if your country, your city was being invaded at this very moment? If aircrafts fly above you, not knowing if you're in safety, what would you do if you would be in that situation at this very moment? I want you to keep pondering in this idea so you can be in the same mindset of the people that will be talking to you today. Remember, compassion is the first casualty of any war. Whenever we think about war, many people say, war is like hell. War and hell are the same thing. And there's a huge disagreement in that because war is worse than hell. And the reason being is that hell is for people that have been judged in a way they were allotted to that destiny. But war not discriminates and takes innocence in the midst of that war. So therefore, we want you to be compassionate, disregarding your political beliefs, your ideological beliefs, your past experience. We're here to talk with compassion. So let's not forget that we need that in order to move forward. Rotary is currently being very active addressing the Ukraine crisis. More than half of 2.5 million refugees fleeing Ukraine at the moment are heading to Poland, where Rotary members are organizing shelter, transit refugees from one place to another into safety, and also providing basic necessities. The Rotary Foundation has received thousands of donations, and that they go directly to our global network into buying the necessities in place. These are real money that go directly to these areas where they're providing shelter, where they're providing the basic necessities for their upcoming refugees and current refugees. So if you're interested, we'll be sharing the link for your donation or you to promote within your network to donate in a safe. This is very coming from my background. It's very important that we know that it's safe, that the money it is used for the cause that we're saying, and is backed up by the Rotary Foundation. So on that end, I will leave it to Yaroslava, who's joining us today directly from Ukraine. Yaroslava, thank you so much for being here. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Elsa. Good morning, I'm from Ukraine and my name is Yaroslava and my hometown is Kyiv. Today I will tell you about the situation which is going on in my country. I have to warn the presentation I'm going to show it's not bright and have some sensual content, but unfortunately, sorry, I'm a little bit nervous. It's not, it's now a new reality in my city, my country and my beloved ones. I appreciate opportunity to talk with you. Thank you that joined this meeting. And thank you to Rotary Club. These days we have to call things as it is, and it's war in my country, which Russia become. It's a short intro about Ukraine. You can see the map of Europe and you can see that Ukraine is the biggest country in Europe. Before the war, we export a lot of oil and cereals like wheat and corn and so on. Because our country is a very big agricultural country and it was our main business that we have in Ukraine. Please, next slide. It's about history of Ukraine, and Ukraine have long and restrained history, but to make a long story short, I would like to say that from 1991, Ukraine became independent, and this picture is from our New Year holidays. You can see the main Christmas tree in Kyiv and St. Sophia Cathedral, that is UNESCO World Heritage Site. A few days ago, Russian militaries wanted to bomb it, and it's so sad, and it's making us to be terrified because every day we have new information about what are they going to destroy in our country. And please, can you show the next slide? Before 21st of February, I work as public relation manager in agency, and my daily working routine was to communicate with celebrities. But on 21st of February, I woke up at 5 o'clock because of an explosion. For 16 days, a full-scale war launched Russian against Ukraine continues at the very heart of Europe, and it's awful. For this period of time, our cities have changed. The next slide, it's the city Kharkiv, first capital of Ukraine. And on the 1st of March, it's not look like this. it's awful and terrified, but now Kharkiv looks like the next slide. For more than 5 days, Russian forces attacked Kharkiv with bombs and rockets. I have friends and my sisters were in Kharkiv for all the days. It was so hard when they don't have opportunity to answer your messages. We don't have any phone calls from them, and just one way we have to do, it's like to sit and to pray, because we don't have any opportunity to help them. I'm very happy that my sisters are safe now and they could go from Kharkiv, but it's not the only one city that Russian forces make like this. The next slide, it's story about city Mariupol. It's port city and it has Azov Sea. It's very beautiful, and a lot of people have visited it. As you can see, it was green, and spring is coming, and it have to be so beautiful as it was. But unfortunately, nowadays it's look like the next slide. Russian forces don't stop. They killing a lot of civil peoples, and they have bombed maternity hospital in Mariupol. Now in the next slide, you can see this awful and inhuman way they make it. It's young girls who was pregnant and who was waiting for their babies to born, and they have this awful situation in the city. We know that a lot of them are safe and everything is okay, but it's awful because the situation they have, it make a big sorry, I'm sorry, it make big problems for their little children, because it's huge physically in sense. Every day we have new information that Russian forces destroyed houses of civilian, hospitals, storage of food, and flu. They killing people who want to evacuate from cities. This is picture, yes, next slide, please. This is picture of a small city near Kiev called Irpin. It's very beautiful and young city. A lot of young families brought their own apartments here, and the city had a lot of green parks. But nowadays it's like not that city anymore. Can you show please the next slide? Russian forces destroyed an even bridge that people had no possibility to evacuate. I have my aunt and she lives in this city. She have to be in a shelter for 7 days. She couldn't even call us. I'm very glad that now she is safe and she lives with us, because a lot of my relatives have to change their homes for these days, and now we live in a small house all together, like 20 people, but we are happy that we are alive and we have each other. Already we have humanitarian catastrophe in Mariupol, Bucha, and Irpin, and a lot of other cities, because Russian forces don't allow Ukrainian militaries to give water, to give food to these people, and even to take these people out from these destroyed cities and to give them opportunity to live in another cities. So it's terrifying, and it's very hard for us to live in this reality. But we have to stay strong, and we have to pay attention for our relatives and to give opportunity for our children to learn and to become strong and very passionate people. So please switch on the next slide. About humanitarian catastrophe, we have destroyed, Russian forces have destroyed 280 schools, and we don't have any like school opportunity for children to learn because online it's not possible because not all of children have this on internet connection. It's hard to think over because like I have a lot of friends who have children who learn at second and third classes in Ukrainian schools, but now they the only way they could learn it's with their parents and from some books that they have, because like my family we were living from Kiev with only one bag, so I even don't have clothes to change because I just take my documents and that's all that I can take with me, one sweater and one jeans. The same situation it's like for a lot of people in Ukraine, and my sister had a little baby and we don't have clothes for this baby, and she is growing every day, and now clothes that we have are small, and we're trying to find something, but it's also hard to find clothes because a lot of magazines don't work. A lot of people move to safe places in our country, and more than 2 million people moved to another countries like Poland. We would like to say thank you very much for everyone who helped our people to live in Poland, Slovenia, Slovakia, and so on, because it's very important for us that we have such strong such strong community, and we know that we are not alone in this situation. The next slide I would like to say is that new reality is also awful and terrifying because we have Chernobyl and Zaporizhia nuclear power plants, and now they are occupied by Russian military. People who work on these plants couldn't get home. The occupiers do not allow workers to change, and only one group of people are working. They are tired and scared, and no one knows what to expect. A few days ago, they turned off the light, and we really don't know what to expect about this. Sorry, my family is walking around. So it's awful because on this on the first photo you can see Chernobyl, and on the second it's Zaporizhia nuclear power plants, which is bombing. It was bombing at 3 o'clock in the evening, and like all my relatives couldn't sleep because no one couldn't sleep in Ukraine because every night it's new awful situation. It's like you can sleep, you can have 20 minutes to sleep, and then you woke up with terrifying, and you're just trying to find some news about what is going on and what is waiting for us the next day, because it's really awful. And the main thing that I would like to say that we are so brave and so trying to be as one, because we know that if we couldn't save our country, Russia will kill it for sure, and they want for Ukrainians to live, because every day we have this information, we have relatives who couldn't leave for some cities because of these Russian occupants who killing little children, old men, old women, and so on. So thank you very much for your attention, and glory to Ukraine. I'm very happy to be today with you, and I'm very thankful for you that you give me opportunity to tell this story.
I think we all need a moment in order to process what Yaroslava just shared with us. Yaroslava, thank you for being here. I know it's almost a miracle that you have an internet connection that allows you to share your message. So thank you for preparing this presentation for us and also opening up your heart about your family and your experience